What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video we're going to talk about how to actually evaluate your deer hunting property moving into 2024. That way we can make improvements and have better luck for the following hunting season. There's a few things when you go about evaluating your deer hunting property. What can we do to make it better for the following season? There's lots of different things we can do. When I do consulting for clients, we go over this entire process on what we can do to improve it year after year after year. For this to happen and to properly take place, sometimes we need a second set of eyes. So that's where, watching YouTube videos, stepping back for a second, looking at your property as a whole and ask yourself, what is my deer hunting property missing? If you're deer hunting a property that's isolated from hunting pressure, you're going to have a tremendous amount of deer hunting success compared to a property that's bordered by other hunting properties. So keep this in mind, and you can improve your property based on those two situations. What you have to be careful is sometimes we can make a lot of deer hunting improvements on our property, but yet no matter what we do, you have to look at your neighbors. Where is your property placed at in the area that you're hunting? How does it lay out? And what are your neighbors doing to affect your deer hunting? Are they riding four-wheelers everywhere? Is there trails that they're using to access on the property line? Is your property in the middle of hundreds of acres and around your entire property is being hunted? If so, it could be very difficult for you to have continuous success. I can't emphasize this enough. I'm many videos on this about deer hunting property, about it being property dependent. It's so dependent on your specific property. One thing to look at, I started planting food plots when I was 14 years old. I'm 39 now, and what I learned after several years of planting food plots is that food plots are only a small equation to proper habitat management and for continued success. They're only a very small portion of what can be done to your property to enhance the wildlife and other habitat. So when looking at this, the first step is to look at food. It's a dormant season now. Most all your natural browse and everything's going dormant. Green leaves are, vegetation is gone, so you have to look at all this stuff behind me. Your browse situation. Are you on a big woods setting where you have a closed canopy forest? Your browse could be lip high, or you may not have any browse at all because it's all shaded out and nothing's able to grow. So you have to scout your property, look at a food situation. So when doing that, look at your trees, look at the ground, look at if there's any food left on your property and basically around your property. You can drive, on the roads and stuff around your property, just kind of look at an aerial photo as a whole. Is it a big wood setting where everything's shaded out? Okay, look at that. The second step is, are you in an agricultural area? If you're in an agricultural area, you have lots of open areas where sun's hitting the hedgerows. You have lots of regeneration around the edges. Typically, you're going to have more browse that way. Because the number one step in this, and always look at natural browse. Natural browse is the backbone to all healthy deer herds. Without browse, you got nothing, because food plots are supplemental. I say that all the time. Food plots are supplemental. Natural browse is the backbone to all healthy deer herds. The next step in this is looking at that food value on your property is a trail camera survey. Setting out trail cameras. What is the physical appearance of your deer in the area that's using your property? Are they skinny? Are the ribs sunk in around that back end? Or do they suck in? Do they just look unhealthy overall? If that's the case, they are lacking food. And we can improve that with supplemental feeding through food plots, in areas that you can bait and use different protein things. Most of the time they're limited on what they can do to help your deer herd unless you're doing it 365 days a year. But you need to look at survey trail cameras, decide if those deer look unhealthy. Ag areas, most times they're going to be full, just like I said, more food. Big wood settings, typically they're going to be a little bit on the skinny side, but year after year you can improve this. You can add extra body weight if you're continuous with your habitat program. So that survey is very important, and if that's the case that you've seen where those deer are skinny and need improvement, The next step in all this is, like I said, it all relates around food. You have to look at your timber on your property. Can you look up, all you see is trees, or do you look up and see clear sky? You have to either get a timber company in there, hire somebody for some TSI work, hinge cutting, whatever it is, but you have to get sunlight to the ground. And a lot of times people miss this step, and then they solely rely on food plots, and it's a huge mistake. Like I said, food plots are only a small portion of a habitat management program. What happens is people rely on food plots way too much, overpressure them, you push the deer off, and your neighbors kill the deer. That's just facts. Another step in this, in evaluating your situation, is how are you accessing your deer hunting property? Are you walking through the center of the property? Are you walking straight to your food plots and bumping deer out? Are the deer sitting on your food plots all day long because the food plot is large and it's a destination type area and you have no good access to those food plots, so every time you go there you're bumping them out? Are you hunting your tree stands and you're constantly getting winded? Think about your past deer hunting season, how it went, and you can reflect on it to improve access, improve tree stand locations, or if you do have a good tree stand location, you can make it better. Cutting trees, blocking certain situations, or accessing a different route through a ditch or through a stream, or accessing around the perimeter of your property and concentrating those deer kind of in the center or off to the side a little bit. There's a lot of things to evaluate on improving your hunting property. With consulting season starting roughly after the holidays, I'm super excited to meet everybody and help them design programs where we focus on all of these areas. We basically walk the property and we evaluate it together, and that's the exciting part of doing all this, is getting to see each property and getting to see consistencies with each property as far as how deer maneuver through the property, how they react. Are they skinny? Are they look unhealthy? Looking at trail camera photos with the clients, and just seeing a continuous thing of closed canopy forest where there's no food, and then deer hunting season comes around and there's no deer left because they left to go someplace else, or whatever the case may be. It's so cool to see. I was just talking to a guy today that called me on the phone wanting consulting work, and we were talking about oaks, and a perfect situation would be to have some bedding on the back side of the property where they can maneuver through some oaks, eating some acorns, and then working their way through some travel corridors out to say some food plots. That would be an excellent situation. But to have the entire property in oaks, probably not the best idea. So you can get a timber company in there and cut these oaks, and there's so many things to improve it. You just have to make the right step. In order to make the right step, guys, give this video a watch right there. It's going to help you guys out. You guys can actually subscribe here as well. Drop a comment. I'll see you guys on the next video.